Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going deep on the human side of Chernobyl.
Yeah.
A story most people think they know.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me, there's always more to uncover.
Always.
We're going to be using Svetlana Alexievich's Voices from Chernobyl.
Right.
It's a collection of firsthand accounts.
Amazing book.
Really brings this tragedy to life.
It's one thing to understand, like, the scale of the disaster.
Yeah.
The radiation levels, the technical failures, all that.
Right.
But it's another thing entirely to hear the stories of people who lived through it, to feel the weight of their experiences.
Yeah.
That's what's so powerful about these firsthand accounts.
Exactly. And that's why we're going beyond the basic timeline today.
Yeah.
For anyone listening who's already familiar with sort of what happened,
Right.
we're going beyond that today.
Deeper.
We're going to explore the lesser-known stories,
Yes.
the whispers of trauma and resilience
Yeah.
that echo through the years.
Absolutely.
What I think is so fascinating about Alexievich's approach
Yeah.
is that she doesn't shy away from the complexity of human emotion.
Right.
She captures the fear and confusion of those early moments,
Hmm.
the heroic acts of self-sacrifice,
Yes.
and the long shadow of loss that followed this disaster.
Oh, long shadow.
So let's start with those initial moments,
Okay.
the explosion itself.
Mm-hmm.
The book paints such a vivid picture of Pripyat, the town built for the power plant workers,
Right.
just a few miles from the reactor.
Right.
Can you set the scene for us?
So imagine a seemingly ordinary night, April 26, 1986.
Okay.
Families are sleeping. Children are dreaming.
Yeah.
Completely unaware of the silent chaos unfolding just a short distance away.
Yeah.
And then in the early morning hours, reactor number 4 explodes,
Wow.
ripping through the night sky.
It's almost surreal to think about the contrast there
Yes.
between the sudden violence of this explosion
Right.
and the initial lack of awareness among the residents of Pripyat.
In the book, you hear accounts of people waking up
Yeah.
to a strange glow in the sky.
Wow.
Some even went outside to watch,
Really?
drawn to the spectacle of this unusual fire,
Oh, wow.
completely unaware of the invisible threat raining down on them.
It's chilling to think about.
It is.
Those early hours,
Yeah.
that quiet confusion before the true nature of the disaster became clear.
And speaks to a larger point about the nature of this disaster.
But-
This wasn't a flood or an earthquake,
Right.
a visible and immediate force of nature.
Yeah.
This was an invisible enemy. Radiation
Yeah.
silently infiltrating their bodies,
Wow.
their homes, their lives.
So while many in Pripyat were still watching the fire,
Yeah.
kind of with a sense of wonder,
Yeah.
the first responders
Yeah.
were already rushing into the heart of the disaster.
Yeah.
What drove them towards such an unknown danger?
You see this incredible mix of beauty, courage, and perhaps even a bit of naivete in their stories. Firefighters, plant workers, soldiers,
No.
they were all called upon to confront a threat they couldn't even see,
Right.
let alone fully understand.
And many of them paid the ultimate price for their bravery.
Yes.
The book does not shy away
No.
from the horrific reality of acute radiation sickness.
Absolutely. The accounts from the doctors and nurses who treated these first responders
Yeah,
are particularly haunting.
I bet.
Imagine witnessing the rapid deterioration of the human body.
Oh, wow.
The burns, the nausea, the utter helplessness in the face of this invisible enemy.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to fathom what it must have been like for those first responders, knowing they were going into a danger they couldn't even see or fully comprehend.
And that cost extends far beyond those initial moments, too.
Right.
The invisible nature of the threat meant that the impact of the disaster unfolded so slowly, insidiously,
Yeah.
affecting not just individuals.
But entire communities.
One of the most striking aspects of Voices from Chernobyl for me
Yeah.
is the way it captures the experience of the evacuation.
Right.
Can you talk about what that was like
Yeah.
for people Pripyat?
Imagine being told
Okay.
you have to leave your home
Wow.
with just a few hours' notice,
Okay.
and you might never be able to return.
Oh, wow.
That's the reality that thousands of people faced.
Mm-hmm.
They were loaded onto buses,
Yeah.
many still believing it was a temporary measure,
Right.
not grasping the full extent of what had happened.
Did anyone resist the evacuation?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, leaving everything behind,
Yeah.
your home, your life.
For whole life.
That must have been incredibly difficult.
It was, and there were certainly those who resisted.
Yeah.
Some older residents,
Yay.
especially deeply rooted
Yeah.
in their homes and communities, refused to leave.
Really?
They couldn't fathom abandoning their lives,
Wow.
their memories.
It's a testament to how deeply connected they were to their land,
Right.
their way of life.
It's heartbreaking to think about.
Yeah.
The confusion and fear they must have felt.
Yeah.
The uncertainty of what lay ahead.
And that uncertainty lingered long after the evacuation, too.
Oh, right.
Imagine arriving in a new town,
Okay.
being labeled a Chernobylite,
A Chernobylite.
facing suspicion and fear
Wow.
from those who didn't understand the invisible threat
Yeah.
carried.
The book really dives into the psychological impact of that displacement,
Right.
the trauma that went far beyond,
Absolutely.
the physical effects of radiation.
The loss of home,
Yeah.
the disruption of community,
Right.
the constant fear of the unseen.
Yeah.
It all took a tremendous toll
Yeah.
on their mental and emotional well-being.
Right.
And often there wasn't adequate support
Right.
to help them cope with this trauma.
You mentioned the term Chernobylite.
Right.
It seems like the evacuees faced a lot of stigma and discrimination,
For sure.
even after they left the contaminated zone.
Absolutely. They were often seen as contaminated.
Wow.
Both literally and metaphorically.
Really?
People were afraid of the radiation,
Yeah.
afraid of getting too close.
Right.
It's a reminder that the impact of a disaster like Chernobyl goes beyond the immediate event.
Yeah.
It can create social divisions,
Wow.
fear, and misunderstanding
Yeah.
that can persist for generations.
It's almost like they were carrying an invisible burden,
Yeah.
the weight of the disaster.
They were. In a way, they were.
Yeah.
They carried the trauma, the loss,
Yeah.
the constant reminder of what they left behind.
Right.
And that burden manifested in different ways: depression, anxiety,
Yeah.
even physical ailments
Wow.
that doctors struggled to explain.
One of the things that struck me in the book
Yeah.
was the sense of longing, the yearning for home
Yes.
that so many evacuees expressed.
I know.
Even years later,
They still dreamt of returning to Pripyat,
I know.
to their old lives.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's a powerful testament to the deep connection between people and place, the sense of belonging
Right.
that's so essential to our well-being.
Yeah.
But it also speaks to the enduring nature of trauma,
Right.
the way it can embed itself in our memories and shape our experiences long after the event itself.
Their stories remind us that the human cost of a disaster like Chernobyl is multifaceted and enduring.
Yeah.
It's not just about the immediate casualties or
Yeah.
the physical damage,
Yeah.
but also about the invisible wounds
Right.
that can linger
Absolutely.
for a lifetime.
Yeah, it's a complex legacy, isn't it?
Yeah.
On one hand, you have the immense suffering,
Right.
the loss, the disruption of lives and communities. And on the other hand, you see this incredible resilience,
Yeah.
the strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable circumstances.
Reading these accounts.
You can't help but feel a sense of awe at the capacity for human endurance.
It's amazing.
Makes you question
Yeah.
what we truly consider normal and how adaptable we can be when faced with these
Right.
extraordinary challenges.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I think Voices from Chernobyl challenges our perceptions of what it means to be a survivor.
Right.
It's not always about grand acts of heroism, but about the quiet, everyday acts of courage it takes to rebuild a life,
Right.
to find hope amidst the ruins.
So much of what we've talked about today focuses on the individual experiences of those who lived through Chernobyl. But how did this disaster impact society as a whole?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Did it change the way we think about nuclear power,
Yeah.
about safety,
Absolutely.
about our relationship with technology?
Absolutely. Chernobyl became a global wake-up call, a symbol of the potential dangers of nuclear energy.
Yeah.
It forced governments and industries
Right.
to reevaluate safety protocols, to invest in new technologies,
Right.
and to engage in more open and transparent communication with the public
Right.
about the risks involved.
It's interesting how a single event
Yeah.
can have such far-reaching consequences,
Right.
rippling out across borders and influencing policies
Right.
and perspectives on a global scale.
And it also highlighted the importance of international cooperation
Yeah.
in responding to such disasters.
Right.
The world came together
Yeah.
to provide aid, to share expertise,
Yes.
and to support the recovery efforts.
Yeah.
It demonstrated that in the face of such immense challenges,
Right.
collaboration and empathy are essential.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what do you think are the most important takeaway for our listener,
Yeah.
who I'm assuming already has a base understanding
Right.
of the Chernobyl disaster?
I think it's the reminder that history is made up of individual stories.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the numbers,
Right.
the technical details, the political implications.
Yeah.
But at its heart, the Chernobyl disaster is about the people who experienced it,
Mm-hmm.
whose lives were forever changed
Yeah.
by that fateful day.
It's a story of loss, of fear, of resilience,
Yeah.
and ultimately of the enduring strength of the human spirit.
That's right.
And I think it's a story that continues to resonate today,
Yeah.
reminding us of the importance of empathy, the interconnectedness of our world,
Right.
and the need to approach complex issues
Yeah.
with both caution and compassion.
Couldn't have put it better myself.
Yeah.
Voices from Chernobyl is a powerful reminder that behind every headline,
Yeah.
every statistic,
Mm-hmm.
there are human faces.
Yeah.
Human stories waiting to be heard.
So to our listener, I encourage you to seek out this book.
Yes.
Immerse yourself in these stories.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to feel the weight of their experiences and reflect on the enduring lessons they offer.
Because ultimately, understanding the human side of Chernobyl,
Right.
and any major event for that matter,
Yeah.
helps us better understand ourselves and the world we live in.
And on that note,
Yeah.
we'll leave you to ponder the echoes of these voices from Chernobyl.
Yes.
Until next time, keep exploring,
Yes.
keep learning,
Keep learning.
and keep diving deep into the stories that matter most.